Hello, Friday Night Live, John Beaudin, Shannon Edwards. Our
Hi.
daughter's back there making so much noise.
First she was eating chips, and then she decided she's going to wash her hands, and she's jumping
What
around.
is that noise?
And we're waiting to kind of go on.
You should come over here a little bit. I won't bite you much. Okay. Anyway.
Then we have the washer going. We've got all these
All the
background
washer,
noises.
and then the fan was on in the back. And every time we come on here, we're always out shopping and doing our thing and getting our weekend shopping done. We come here, and I got in and I went, oh, I'm really, really tired. And she says, well, you don't have to do it. I said, no, we've got it. I like doing, Friday Night Live, for us, it's kind of like a couple going to a party. It's not your party, you're going to a party. And all of a sudden, you don't want to go to the party because you're going, oh, I have to exert myself and be nice.
But then once you go to the party and you leave the party, you're like, oh, I'm so glad we went.
We should do that more often.
We should do that.
So there we go. We don't match at all. We're just like.
Hi,
there.
Kim. Welcome.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good day. So
we're kind of all over the place with when we're actually coming on. We're thinking 5, 6. So we thought
we're going to try to get on an hour and a half before we just came on. So that would be 5 Mountain Time. We're on Mountain Time. FYI, before we get to our topic, I interviewed Danica. Too loud. Danica.
Turn it down.
Too loud. She speaks through her iPhone. So because she's autistic, she'll play the same word over and over and over again.
I'm just making sure. Hi, Rick May. Greetings from Ohio.
Rick.
Time to set aside the movie Whack Into Bernie's. Hit that like button, folks. Oh my gosh, Rick, you're hilarious. Brian Gervais, hello. Alex Knight, hey, happy Friday, Alex. Michael
Boston.
Harris, I would say simple mind, sanctify yourself.
Oh, that's good.
Breakup songs. Jerry on
Sanctify. Yeah, that's a good
Jerry
song.
on the radio. Hiya.
We just heard that song.
Michael says, Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.
So, the song that you had, or that rings a bell to you, doesn't matter when it was.
It could be any breakup.
Of any breakup.
But usually high school. Those are the worst. As Shannon says, so we're just about getting on, and Shannon says, oh, I know what it is. Nothing compares to you. Sinead O'Connor? Then I look on the list. It's one of the top.
That was like one of mine.
It's one of the top breakup songs. And I said, which guy was that? She said, oh, I don't know. There was so many.
I didn't say there were so many. I just couldn't remember which one because there was a few.
As my dad would say, my dad sometimes would mix words up. He'd say, you were a real poplar, like the tree.
Oh my God. Warner Designs, my breakup album was Toto's Tambu.
Tambu was, I might have been going through something at that time. I remember Billboard, and I told this to Luke. I'm interviewing Luke in the next few weeks. That I remember Billboard wrote something on the album. It was very short, but I was so happy that they wrote something again on Toto.
John Myler, Christopher Cross, Never Be the Same is the most memorable.
Yeah. You said Nothing Compares to You. Right Here Waiting was a big one for me. The whole Seventh One album is important to me from Toto because of going through that was the Carrie album for me. And we always talk about our exes. We know everything about each other's exes. I think I know everything.
Melody R says, hey, hi Melody.
Hi Melody.
Calvin Beeler, good evening, John and Shannon. Warner Designs, For My Marriage, the breakup album. He said the Toto's Tambu. Michael Harris, thank you. Charlie Birchill says it's his favorite as well. 1985, LOL, so many.
Oh.
Deb, hello Deb. John at Village Advisory, happy Saturday from Melbourne, Australia.
Hey, yes, it's Saturday.
Nice to have you here.
Yes, it's Saturday.
Melody says, I listened to the Bee Gees when I got divorced.
Oh, I had whatever Luba's album is, where she's standing in front, purple one, and there's a purple sort of, I forget, I haven't listened to it so long. Level 42, Welcome to the Real World by Mr. Peter Gabriel were breakup albums for me, for my divorce. And now we're all friends with my ex-wife. It's
Michael says, don't let the screen door hit you on the way out. Deb, Love Hurts. There you go.
Oh yeah, Boodle Bryant wrote that. I think he might have written it with his wife. I'm not sure.
Alan says Neil Sedaka, Breaking Up is
It's
hard to do.
Good
That's
one.
a classic.
That is a real classic breakup song.
Calvin says favorite breakup song is Love So Right, the Bee Gees.
Love the Bee Gees so much. I was a Zeppelin fan, and I'd buy. Well, people, like I said, the wall that we're finally putting it in the house, to the wall with all the emblems.
It's safely sitting in the garage.
Yeah, hold on. Do I have it still on here? Sorry, Shan. I don't know if I still have it on here for people who might not have seen it. Oops. Nope, that's not it. Hold
on. Warner Design says, make sure to ask Luke how his documentary with Sony is going.
I don't know if are they still doing it. There's the wall. We're bringing that downstairs. It's all black light paint.
Do you know if they're still doing the documentary?
I don't know if they're still doing it. I don't want to say anything, but I haven't heard anything at all. So I'll have to talk to their guy this week and set up that interview. I'd like to also talk to Joseph Williams again, circle back, my favorite term, and talk to him. Oh, there's a wall there.
Melody R. Foreigner, a 2 for my divorce.
Yeah.
Foreigner, perfect. Michael says, yes, Something About You, level 42.
Did she say Foreigner 2?
Foreigner 2. She liked Foreigner for her divorce.
As well. I thought you said, I was going to say that's double vision.
And then Michael says, yes, Something About You, level 42. Yeah.
God, Something About You.
But it's interesting how when you do, you'll just be like driving to work or going somewhere, and then you hear that song and it brings you right back, and you go, and you actually go back to that, even though it's so long ago. And for some of you who are breaking up, recently, sorry that you have to go through that, but it just brings you right back. You almost to that time, right?
Well, remember when we break up and we'd walk by, any of us, we'd break up with the person, and then we'd walk by that place, restaurant usually, or the last movie theater you went to with that person, but it's like that when you hear the song. It's like another piece, because it's musical, and you wouldn't be here tonight if you weren't musical, and if it didn't mean anything to you. So there.
Warren Designs. Van Gable, Back to Mid 60s. I Go to Pieces. Peter and Gordon Shannon wrote it.
Yeah. There's a lot of the 50s song. What was it? Oh God. There's I'm trying to think of what it was. They redid it in the 70s, some unknown band, and it was one of my breakup songs for one of my girlfriends in high school, and it's just because I was mad at her. My first real girlfriend in high school. Poor Sue. Nothing personal, Sue. She's friends of ours now.
Neutral 69 says, hi, John and Shannon. Hi. H. Godvilla. My breakup song was by Tears for Fears. The song Woman in Chains. Great song.
We love that song. Yes. Great video.
That's a really good one.
She was an exotic dancer. He's a boxer.
Yes. So good.
Alita Adams is in it.
So good.
Alita Adams was so good in that. And Roland Orzabal produced one of her albums from Tears for Fears. So there you go.
John B. Shears. Good evening, Shannon. John, hope you and the family are doing well. We're doing good, thank you. Michael says, I never knew I was missed yet. My ex-girlfriend says she would hear Missing You by John Waite.
Oh, that's another one.
That's another one.
I ain't missing you at all. Yeah.
That's good. Neutral 69. Love Stinks by Jay Giles Band.
I liked Jay Giles before they got popular. It's strange, and I'm not usually that type of guy. Usually I like it when a band becomes popular. Like when Genesis became very popular, I went, well, except Invisible Touch was a bit much for me, but but Jay Giles, I like the Monkey Island. I used to love Monkey Island, but they didn't sell that well.
Chris Smith said, my best friend's girl, The Cars. Bad day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good one.
Blaze Eisner. Hey brother
Blaze.
John and sister Shannon. Welcome back to Mountain Time. Best breakup song, Smokey Robinson's Ooh Baby Baby by him, or Linda Ronstadt, or Ronstadt, or Pretty Ballerina by the Left Bank.
Yeah.
God bless.
Thank you. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt had a few. Ooh Baby Baby was a good song. Yeah. The list. I was looking at the list before we came on, and yours, Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You was number one from 1990.
90, yeah.
And then Without You, well, Harry Nilsson, Mariah Carey from 93. Don't Speak, No Doubt. I Can't Stand Gwen Stefani.
Oh, End of the Road,
voice.
Boys to Men. Of course, that's classic.
Oh yeah, End of the Road.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be listening to the 90s channel and sometimes even the 80s channel like we did when we were coming home. And there was what was the name of that band? Something Expectations or I look at her and I'm going, did I miss a hit? And she had her ear to the ground a lot more in pop music in the 80s than I did.
Was that just what we heard? No.
Yeah.
It was Sweet Sensation.
Sweet Sensation. Yeah, that's right. I've never heard that song in my life. Why Michael Jackson and what? Michael Jackson and 3T?
Yeah.
I don't know what that song is.
Uh,
Always Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Crying Aerosmith.
Right.
I don't like that song.
Oh, Unbreak My Heart.
Unbreak My
Toni
Heart.
Braxton,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Of course. Classic. Okay, what's the next one? It's okay, she's just...
You have to watch her because she has seizures.
Never Ever, All Saints.
I don't know what that is. Try Macy Gray.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, Stay.
Oh,
Lisa
of
Bonet.
course. Of course.
These are all basically love songs. Foolish Games, Jewel. Torn, Natalie Imbruglia. If I remember correctly, that was a remake. That wasn't her song.
Melody R says, sorry for being morbid, but someone had drowned, and we played We're Here for a Good Time by Trooper at his funeral, and I can't listen to it now. I'm taking, perhaps it was a friend.
Oh my God. Who said this?
Melody R.
Melody, there's
Yes.
a guy named Army Brewstrom who came from the small town that I grew up in. He was my older brother, who's also dead now, but he died at 36. Andrew, my older brother's one of his best friends. And I had a recorded 8-track player, and people would come and they'd give me 2-3 songs that they wanted. And I would build a whole tape around it based on those 3 songs. And Army came in one day and he only had one song because he wasn't that musical. He says, can you build a whole tape, 8-track tape, around Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel? And I don't think they played it at his funeral in this case, but it was strange. A week later, he drowned. There's my Only the Good Die Young and drowning story. Mm-hmm. And it so hard on my older brother, so hard on him. He was one of his best friends. And he was a good time guy, a really nice guy.
Oberheim, I, Robot, and its Gatefold are really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
James says Stranger in the House by Ronnie Millsap.
Oh, Millsap, yeah.
Millsap.
I used to play that on the radio, yeah.
Neutral 69 Separate Ways by Journey.
Oh, yeah, of course. Good one.
Jeffrey Jackson, Bob Dylan, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right.
Yeah. Never been a big Bob Dylan fan.
Sorry,
So
Melody said that was her boyfriend.
Oh my God, that's awful. Sorry, Melody, having to go through that.
Michael Harris, sorry, I have about 9,000 CDs. Still, I love this format. A great deal of info not paid, LOL.
Yeah.
Rick May, Leonard Cohen, Did I Ever Love You? Randy Newman, I Miss You.
I don't know if I know the Randy Newman.
Lonnie says Bee Gees, Love So Right. Hi, Tina, Days by the Kinks.
Oh, look at You Ought to Know, Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah. And Hike with Mike, hey, folks.
Oh, Long December, Counting Crows.
Oberheim says idea for another live stream. Favorite and not so favorite album covers.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to text that to her. And who gave us this one last week? Someone gave us this last week.
Usually Hike with Mike gives a lot of them.
Favorite and not so favorite album covers. Who was it? A couple of guys. It'll come back to me. It's an interesting video we're going to put up real soon, but I'm trying to think of. Oh God, hold on.
Thank you so much, everyone. Keep hitting that like button. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Or as Rick would say, whack it.
Whack the like button.
Yes.
We got a new thing in the wall. Where'd you get it, Winners?
Yeah.
Can't really see it.
I don't know.
Can't see the design.
I think it feels really serene.
Well, it's subtle. All our pictures in our house are very, very subtle. There's nothing.
And the house is very calming.
Very calming.
Neutral 69, Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
Oh, that is just a classic one. Yeah, of course.
Twisted Folk, Look What You've Done by Bread. Not one most people would think of, but sometimes you have to get through the bitter, and that tune helped me.
Well, the breakups help us recognize, I think, the people we're going to end up with, right? I used to always go, she's ahead. I remember I was in deep meditation once, and I hadn't met Shannon yet. And the song came up, she'll be coming around the mountain. I said, why is that? And I was meditating for my wife. I was going, I know you're out there. You probably can't hear this. I'm probably crazy. But I just sent out, I said, but I love you. I know I'm going to meet you. And then I met one, and then a psychic told me you're going to meet a really pretty girl with long dark hair. She's younger than you.
Then I think you met a couple pretty girls with long dark hair.
I did. That's where I was going. Kim, and then Colleen, and then you. And then I went, no, this is the one.
Well, I'm glad I stuck. Iron Man and 2009, Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison.
Oh, God, yeah. Every rose has its thorn.
Mark Burchett, John and Shannon, That Was Yesterday by Foreigner. Best breakup.
Oh, God,
That's
that was
a good
yesterday.
One. Michael says, Mr. Broken Wings, Charlie Sexton, Beats So Lonely.
Broken Wings, yeah. God. Well, that was one of my divorce albums. And I remember, when you're going through divorce, you're going, oh my God, I never want to go through this again. This is like the worst feeling in the universe. And then many years later, if you could only whisper in your ear saying that you realize you'll be rejoicing this happened. Nothing against the person. Apples and oranges, sometimes people don't mix, and sometimes people are evil. Luckily, my ex-wife was not evil. She's a nice lady, but she just wasn't meant to be with me. And so if someone could just whisper in your ear, when you're going through it, going, it's going to be okay. Oh my God, if only you knew. It's going to be okay.
Neutral 69, Don't You Want Me by Human League.
Oh, that was one of my going to get married, my first marriage. We had that Human League album, as well as, I think, the second Huey Lewis album in the car. We just played it nonstop on the way to BC from Edmonton to get married. And there you go, small world, but we all have our stories.
Phil Collins, If Leaving Me Is Easy.
Oh my God! Drumming instructors will tell drummers with that song, because it's so slow. We were just listening to True on the way here, and Shannon was saying that's like a really slow song. I mean, she'd heard it 1,000 times, but sometimes it's like rediscovering your fridge. You look at it and you go from a different perspective, and she goes, that it's just so slow. But that, as well as If Leaving Me Is Easy from the Face Value, because he was going through a divorce with his, I think, first wife, who was in Vancouver, Phil Collins. But drummers will tell you to drum to that song, because drumming to an incredibly slow song like that is incredibly hard to do it and keep in time.
Oakley, Just Go Away, Motley Crue.
Oh, I don't know if I know it. I might know it if I heard it.
Blaze says, Al Cooper's I Love You More Than I'll Ever Know. I believe that Amy Winehouse did this. It gets me every time I hear it.
See, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about right there. This kind of song that when you hear it, what was that song? Beth Hart. I think it's, hold on.
Rick chimes in.
I'll tell you.
Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me.
Oh, perfect.
Huh?
That is like the perfect.
That's so perfect.
Yeah.
Iron Man. In the 80s, it was Hold On Loosely.
38 Special. Hold on. It is. The song is called Sand and Water. What was it? Hold on. I can't play it.
Melody R says, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart by Bee Gees.
Oh, perfect.
These are
song.
great.
Yeah.
Huh? Are these not great ones? Michael says, my dad and I have one, Mike and the Mechanics. Living Years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's Sand and Water.
Oh.
The song about death. I think it is by. It's not Beth Hart. It's Beth Nielsen Chapman.
Oh. Hike with Mike said, when I was a teen, me and my Swedish girlfriend loved the Bryan Adams song, The Best Was Yet to Come. when she broke up with me, I can remember driving away and listening to that song on my way home.
Oh. Well, as I've said before, I bought Doug and Butterfly. There's Doug, and then you see he's got this butterfly, and then he joins the band Heart. Then he meets a snake with a red hat. No.
Okay.
But anyway, Dog and Butterfly. Doug. That's good. Anyway, I bought that album when Dawn and she knows Dawn now.
Yeah.
I just got Dawn. My high school sweetheart just wrote a book. We're going to have her on the John Beaudin channel, which I have not really done anything with. I'm going to have her as a first guest. We're going to talk about her book. But anyway, I bought Dog and
Oh my.
Oh, Dog and Butterfly. I'll be okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Michael Harris says, Phil Collins, Take Me Home. Mark says, Iron Man 38 and Don Barnes, Hold On, is a great pick. Tina Turner, When the Heartache Is Over.
Oh, When the Heartache Is Over.
Yeah. Oh, Neutral 69, Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Blaze says, how about Zeppelin's Babe? I'm Gonna Leave You.
Oh my God! And you know what? It's strange. I haven't heard that song in a while. I haven't listened to that album in a while. We've been doing a lot of Zeppelin stuff that we're about to put up on the Rock History Book channel for Today in History, and that is the amount of work on that channel is insane. But it's fun to do, and I learn a lot too and I relearn things as well.
Keith says, Women by Legs Diamond, to love and to want you, but to let you go.
Yeah. And of course, country music has like so many breakup songs. You know, I was just thinking of that before we got on. I thought country music's going to come up at one point.
Dagwood chimes in, YMCA.
Oh man.
Oh, H. Dog Villa. Hi, John and Shannon. I forgot to add one more that I feel is a great breakup song. Linda Ronstadt, Long, Long Time. That is a good one. You played that for me.
Yeah. I never bought a Linda Ronstadt album when I was in high school. Never did. Hasten Down the Wind. I mean, everyone loved the cover of that album. My God. Probably the sexiest album cover that I can think of. You know, and she did not look at herself that way. I mean, she said that she, of course, she was a woman in rock and roll, so she used it a little bit. But that's, yeah.
Mark says, April Wine, Just Between You and Me.
Oh, yeah. Miles Goodwin wrote some good love stuff. Oh, John, thank you for your super chat.
Every song they played in the movie Better Off Dead.
Better Off, is that the one with John Cusack? What's Better Off Dead? What was that?
Sounds like it might have been John Cusack.
Because that's
thank you, John, for the donation.
Thank you, John. That's very kind of you.
Deb says, Can't Stand the Rain by Ann Peebles.
Do I know that? Every Breath You Take, the Police.
Yep.
It's kind of a stalking song, a little bit.
Joe Smith says Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks.
Everyone knows that guitar strum. I was trying to get an interview with Terry, but since he's had his strokes, he can't seem to do it. And his manager, I mentioned this before, said, well, I know him so well, I'll talk for him. And I'm going, and it was nice of him to offer, but I need Terry on there. So
Melody R, Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Oh, that's a good one.
Love that one.
Yeah, I'm a Seal fan. Sherry Sugar 41976, also Greg Kinban.
The breakup song, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like Greg Kinne. He had two fairly big hits in the 80s.
Iron Man 2. With the Doug and the Butterfly in my chair, he liked to cry, Doug and the Butterfly. Michael says Sammy Hagar, Two Sides of Love.
There's I ran into there was a major faux pas in one of my interviews this week. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to put the video up. I have to complete it with someone I'm going to talk to next week, which will complete the joke. But the joke's on me because I made like a huge mistake during an interview. And it was one of those, you must be the only person on earth that doesn't know that kind of thing. But it's funny. So Shannon says, you sure you want to put that up? I'm going, yeah, I do, because it's actually really funny. And you got to make fun at yourself, right? You can't pretend. Like I've always said, all the guys who do what I do, they do research. They have to. You can't just sit down and know that and get the dates. It doesn't happen. No one can do that, and no one should do that. But it's next week. We'll put it up. You'll like it. I can't say anything else.
Hike with Mike, Eagles Wasted Time.
Oh.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful breakup song because it ends with lyrics
Does
that
the dog
accepts
wanna
the
go?
breakup and looks back at the relationship with
Sorry.
fondness, even though it hurt. Oh my gosh, that was such a good, yeah.
Well, the dog's right here.
Not quite sure what you're doing.
The dog's right here. Oh, Doug and Butterfly.
It's a good night for you. Blaze says Glenn Fry's New Kid in Town.
Oh, New Kid in Town.
Oh, Twisted Folk must have been loved by Roxette. Yeah. Chuck Crow says hello. Rick May, country breakup song. Travis Trait. Trait. He's a quarter.
She doesn't know country music.
Call someone who cares.
She doesn't know. She knows new country music.
New country, but
you don't know. You don't know. Yeah.
And I also don't have my glasses on, so that probably doesn't help. Let's see. Mark says, gotta laugh at ourselves. He has no problem laughing at himself.
When I was a program director at the radio station here, I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because I was doing the morning show. And I woke up at 4 and I'd go downstairs in the basement and do the Vancouver show for a separate company, which would never happen now. You got to work for one company. So I was running a radio station for New Cap here in Calgary, and I was voice tracking, which I still do, a show in Vancouver for Chum, which is Bell Media now. So I would do that, then go to work, and sometimes I'd be rushed. And so I wanted to record the show first. I'm not sure why. Oh, because I went to sleep. I went to bed early because I was doing the morning show. I just thought, duh. Anyway, so one day, here I am. I'm ready to chair a meeting with the staff. Like 24 people were ready to come in. And I looked down and I was wearing 2 black shoes, but they were not matched. And I went to my general manager and I said, "Oh, it's so funny. Look at this." And he says, "Oh my God, you got to go home and change." I said, "No, Stephen, you got to laugh at yourself. It's funny."
He goes, "You might not want to share that."
Yeah, I said, "No, but it's actually really funny." And one was pointy and one wasn't.
But they were not too far off from each other. It wasn't like you had like two complete, like a black shoe and then a white shoe. Like it was.
Anyway, I kept them on because I said, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. I mean, you're going to be, you're going to screw up and do stupid things. But if it's funny, laugh at yourself, I
remember that day you raced out so fast. You were late, like late. So that probably didn't help either.
Happens.
Keith says, "Time for Me to Fly" by REO Speedwagon.
Oh.
Neutral, "Love is a Battlefield" by Pat Benatar.
Co-written by Holly Knight, who we had on the show. She just released her book.
Surfer Boy, what's up, everyone from Boston? Hey, Surfer Boy.
Boston.
Twisted Folk says, "Country, what might have been by Little Texas."
Mm-hmm. A lot of country breakup songs. It's like one of, if country was a table, one of the legs would be breakup songs, or maybe 2 or 3.
Fender said, "Toto, I will remember. Asia, the last to know. Asia, the time has left your eyes."
Good one.
Yeah. Gennaro, hey Gennaro, "I Go Crazy," Paul Davis.
Oh, that is such a great one. And that's another one of those songs, really sleepy, very slow. We were listening to "When I Need You" by Leo Sayer the other day, where a lot of the drumming on that album, Endless Flight was the piano on Endless Flight. This features John Jarvis. If anybody remembers the New Age format, John, who co-wrote "I Still Believe in You" with Vince Gill. Jarvis, what a totally talented man. But he sent me, I didn't have all his albums, and he sent me the last 2. He was a real good guy. But anyway, we were listening to "When I Need You," and the drumming on that album is done mostly by Steve Gadd and Jeff Porcaro. And if the people who know the drummers, they can tell. I'm not that good at that. Chase can tell. He'll go, "No, that's Jeff, our son."
Tina says this goes way back, but "I Fall to Pieces" by Patsy Cline.
Oh wow, yeah.
My mom likes that one.
Your mom loves Patsy Cline.
Blaze says, "Dolman, Alone Again."
I don't know.
Have you heard that?
I don't know.
Mark, Boston, "Don't Look Back."
Oh, It's so strange you had an album called Don't Look Back, which sounded just like the first album. You know, because critics were always making fun of the fact. And most of us who loved Boston just didn't care.
Sorry, is that pronounced?
Oh, Dawkins. Yeah.
Correct.
Rocker.
V. Oakley says, I absolutely laugh at myself to the point of cracking up. It helps.
You have to.
Right?
Yeah. And if you can't, for the most part, I'm not really a jokester when I do the videos, because I almost put on my broadcaster's hat, and I don't try to be a funny broadcaster. But around here, this is a house of a lot of laughter. Shannon will get into laughing fits, and sometimes I've had enough. I'm going, okay, it's not. She's no, I'm still laughing, and it'll be a laughing fit. She can't stop laughing.
No, but it's great though.
Yeah, well,
it's nonstop.
It's probably because you look like that and I look like this, so you're doing something right.
Rick says, Phil Collins, I don't care anymore. Surfer Boy, is this a Hawaiian themed live? I don't know. Right? I know.
Good one. Yeah, I guess so. I like bright shirts, though.
Well, you know why? Because we're always wearing black, right? It's like we're black. Or we don't plan it that way, but we just do. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear something a little more. It's really nice out today. It was like 21 here. And, yeah. And then you just like to wear
I always wear bright shirts, but I was interviewing someone, and it'll ruin the joke if I say the joke that we've got coming up. But anyway, the first thing he said on two guys from this classic band, first thing he told me, he says, wow, that's a bright shirt. I went, I don't know. I said, I'm known for bright shirts. He said, well, I don't know you, but wow.
Jan's Creation says, hard for me to say I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mello, Funeral for a Friend, Elton John.
Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. You know. God, that was... speaking of Elton John, I'm talking to Caleb Quay again because his documentary, I think, debuts tonight. If I remember correctly, I think it debuts tonight on YouTube. Just put Louder Than Rock. A voice louder than rock if you want to watch it on YouTube. Not that I want to send you away from our live feed, but it's got a lot of guests on it, and Caleb deserves all the recognition. Eric Clapton used to say that Caleb was the best guitarist there was. Jeff Beck said the same thing.
Twisted Folk says, here's a quarter, call someone who cares is funny, because younger people like under 30, they don't get it. You know, why would someone need a quarter to call someone? But back in our day.
We never see those. Are there any phone booths?
No, I
anywhere?
think when we were in New Brunswick, I did see a phone booth. I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh.
Do you remember? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw one. Like, it was like a Bell one.
I remember Shannon and I got into a fight one night, and I just said, I just was really, really angry. So I rushed, ran out of the car, and then I'm going, oh God, I don't have my phone. Then I went, oh no, she doesn't know where I am. I got to phone her, and I'm pretty far away from home. I don't have my phone, which includes my wallet. And then I saw actually the Deerfoot Casino where you used to work, and I looked, I'm going, well, they'll have a house phone. I'm going, when's the last time? The woman looked at me strangely when I said, do you have a house phone? But they did. And she said, oh, no, it's over there. But you have to think about it because no one ever asked for it, probably, because everyone has a cell phone.
And he said, hey, Shannon, on the street, come get me.
Hi, Shan. Yeah, that's the guy who fought. Yeah, the fighting stuff.
I'm on the street,
yeah, that was me there, but I changed my mind.
And come get me, please.
And my knee hurts. And my knee did hurt.
Aaron says, hi, John and Shannon. Etta James, I'd rather go blind. Also, Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Yeah.
You know what Smokey just said today? He had an affair with Dinah Ross. Did you see that today? I saw that and go, oh, I'd be going on live to talk about that because that's something we're going to start doing again because the studio's pretty much where we want it. But yeah, he said he had an affair with a relationship with Dinah Ross. Who would have thunk it? But of course, could happen.
S If You Leave by OMD.
Oh, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, yeah. We still play that on the evening show I host in Vancouver.
Oh, Hike with Mike says, as the one who did the breakup, I broke up with my girlfriend and I felt so guilty. She was really hurt. I got into my car feeling really sad, and the song Please Don't Go by Casey Sunshine comes on.
You know, people sometimes say, well, it's just as hard breaking up. Well, it isn't. But sometimes, for some individuals, it is just as hard. to break up with somebody because you don't want to really hurt that person.
Mm.
And you know how that hurt feels. You've been there and you're doing that to that person. But if it doesn't fit, man, we've taught our son since the very beginning when he was in school that if he liked a girl, when he was just in elementary school, he understands apples and oranges, that old thing. Sometimes it just doesn't work. It's not about you, right? She's not looking for what you got. And really, you're probably not looking for what she's got. And if you were together, it probably wouldn't work anyway.
Neutral.
And you're 10. And you're 10.
And Neutral says, Everything I Do For You by Bryan Adams.
Oh, that is a
Kim says, Straight Tequila Night by country singer John Anderson.
Is John Anderson still around, or did he pass on? I don't know why I think that he's gone. And I don't focus on country music that much, but...
Iron Man says, When I had to move away from all my friends on the plane on those headphones, Southern Cross. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Oh, yeah. Remember that song very, very well. Had a good interview with Justin Hayward today from the Moody Blues. Very, very good interview. I usually ask for the last interview so I can get more time. And it was only a 20-minute interview, but we stretched it, I think, to 35 because he was finished for the day. Nice man. Turns around on his side a lot when he's talking. But just articulate. And a few times he said, well, you're a different one. I've never been here. No one's ever asked me that before. He says, and I asked him about, can you still connect to the 8-year-old kid who was given 78s, that's how old it was, from his grandfather that prompted him to play guitar. And he says, well, I've never been asked that before. He says, that's a good question. Nice guy, really nice guy.
Sherry Sugar says, I've had so many breakups, LOL. Usually I listen to any 80s Chicago or Toto when it happens by habit.
Yeah. And those two bands go so well together anyway. They play well together. You could have a mixtape with both of them.
And they compliment on her shirt here.
Yeah.
Iron Man says, I like the colors. Hawaiian shirt and flowers look great. Thanks. I feel kind of cheery tonight.
Yeah, you're very cheery. You have a few of those, right? You have 2 of them that are different colors. Same shirt, right? Don't you have another one?
No,
Not anymore. What'd you do? What?
No, I can't find it.
Uh-oh, I'm pulling out the Dr. Evil laugh again.
Nance Lot 13. She hates me puddle of mud.
Oh. I don't know if I know it. I probably know if I heard it.
Fender says Genesis, if that's what you need, with Ray Wilson on vocals.
No, I don't remember it. I did calling all stations. I didn't buy it, but I did hear it, and I wouldn't buy it, but it wasn't bad.
Joe says Nights in White Satin. Jason says Cashmere by Zeppelin. Ooh, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Starship when we were talking about Chicago and Toto, because there's similarities in them. They don't sound the same, but sorry, I told you.
Oh my gosh, there's the yawn. Gennaro says, please hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for hitting
by the way,
like button.
Rocky Street Music hats are available in the link, the very top of the link of this video. We're going to put Rocky Street Book hats because a lot of people like that logo, but the logo you're seeing right there is available on a cap now. If you go into the store, the link that's here will take you to this hat, which is an old style baseball cap. That goes like this in front or like that. I don't know. Anyway, they're available, but if you go into the store, there's also another type of a baseball cap available, and we've got coaches jackets now available with the logos. The only one that's not there is Rocky Street Book, because I couldn't find a high quality, like the logo you're seeing here. It's very, very high quality. It's a huge picture, and you need that to do something. So I have to find the Rocky Street Book one. A lot of people like the Rocky Street Book logo with the guitar.
Jans says 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Oh, V. Oakley, Baby Come Back by Player.
Oh yeah,
of course.
And
good one. Yes.
David Beckett was on the show. He was on the channel, talked about Baby Come Back in depth. And Steve Gadd, who's drumming on 50 Ways, was a guest on my show. I don't know if we put that video on here. I completely wasted an interview with Steve Gadd. he wanted to talk about the Gadaboats album, which had Edie Brickell, Paul Simon's wife, Edie Brickell, and the New Bohemians. So, I just basically, what do you get asked about the most? Oh, the drum solo in Asia, Steve, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, and what's the other one you mentioned? I think maybe Chucky's in Love. I forget. And I remember going, I just talked to Steve Gadd. I completely wasted the entire interview. By he wanted to do a track by track. He heard that I do that. So, but I interviewed him.
Fender says, Genesis, Many Too Many, and Afterglow.
I love Afterglow.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Which song?
And Jan says, and love Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think that she loves it. I'm going through and people are also commenting on other people, so I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of reading. I want to try to keep up.
We've got a big window in front of us in our new house in Calgary, and the lighting is perfect.
It's great.
Right.
Aaron says, John Anderson still at 68. Lonnie says, Ambrosia, How Much I Feel.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be that.
Record Hound. Hey, Record Hound. Good evening, John and Shan.
Hi.
One that seemed on repeat for years was Rod Stewart. Is that the thanks I get?
How about You're in My Heart for Britt Eklund, his ex-girlfriend, model actress. That was played like it was crazy. Sometimes When We Touch by Dan Hill was another one that was played an awful lot.
I Can't Tell You Why by the Eagles.
Timothy B. Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hype with Mike says apparently Bryan Adams' songs had a big impact on my romantic life. Well, right, when you start talking about it and you go, wow, I had that person or that artist really captured how I was feeling.
Well, remember you caught me singing the Celine Dion song once. You said, I thought you hated her.
Yeah.
I said, well, I don't really hate her. I said, her isms are hard to take. I'm the greatest singer in the whole world. I'm going to smack my chest one more time. She didn't say that, by the way. But I always found her quite arrogant.
Michael says, I knew when my sister was having a breakup with Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Loverboy, When It's Over.
Yeah, these are all great.
Yeah.
Mike Reno's been on the show. He's a great interview.
Nancelot 13 said Manson, On the Hill, Hank Williams Sr.
Mm-hmm.
Rick May, Warren Zevon, Empty-Handed Heart.
I don't know if I know it. I might know if I heard it.
I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Patsy Cline. There's a few ones that we've heard before. Jan says, oh, So Quiet Bjork has my feelings on relationships.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. That's the thing, too, sometimes. Billy Joel used to do that to me. Billy Joel, more the fact that he was clever. His lyrics were just very, very clever. But sometimes he'd write something about love, and I'd go, yes, that's how I feel. Or Bernie Taupin for Elton John's music. In the lyrics, I'd go, that's how I feel.
Twisted Folk, And So It Goes by Billy Joel.
It's a great song. I used to play that when I was doing New Age music because the Wave in LA would play it, and WNUA in Chicago would play it. The Quiet Storm stations would play it. All these kind of pop hits. Leah was played by Toto on those formats. Before they started adding the smooth jazz part of it, when it was just new adult contemporary, all those songs would be played. Oh, I love that format so much, and I miss that format. But then it turned to smooth jazz. I became Mr. Smooth Jazz, and the second people started calling me that, I went, listen, I don't mind this format. I really don't. But I'm certainly don't want to be known as Mr. Smooth Jazz because that's not who I am.
Al's G said, oh, Collins, Take a Look at Me Now. Wouldn't that be Against All Odds?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
JD, Good Lovin' Gone Bad. Good Lovin' Gone Bad by Bad Company.
Yeah. That's a good song.
How Am I Supposed to Live Without You by Michael Bolton. Thanks, Neutral. Yeah, that's
We found an interview with Michael Bolton with I know I keep promoting these interviews, and I'm going to put them up because they're all digitized now and there's no reason. Mm-hmm. But we have to go through them for various reasons because life has changed since the 80s. And I caught one thing that wasn't anything bad that I didn't say, or Steve Burgess did a lot of those interviews, but it was something that his guest had said that really wouldn't go down very well right now. But it wasn't really, really bad. I'm just going, I don't want to do that to that
So you have
person.
to make sure you actually have,
you have to go through the entire interview
yeah,
and make sure that it's PC. It's just,
Of
it's
course.
okay.
Gennaro says another breakup song is "The Way We Were" by Barbra Streisand.
I love Barbra
That's a
Streisand.
great one.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Kevin says, "Missing you, John Wayne. I was going through a breakup at the time after a 4-year relationship, and it destroyed me. Sorry."
It's
Kevin.
crazy how, one thing I in my adult life in the last few years, I remember we were driving and I looked over at Shannon and I said, why were breakups so incredibly hard on me? Because she had said things and my friends would say things like, well, yeah, that was really difficult, but I'm going, yeah, but you're not like licking the floor with pain like I am. So why were breakups so incredibly difficult on me? Where I really, literally thought I wasn't going to be able to live. I wasn't thinking of jumping off a bridge, never like that. And then I realized we didn't, in my generation, in my family, we didn't share love the way that you would share love, with someone else in that way. And then I remember going, oh, no one's ever told me they love me over and over again. And then, so, wow, I found someone who tells me they love me over and over again. Which was never, hardly ever heard in my family, but that's the way it was back then.
And then you lock in. Right?
Then you lock in. Thank you, Shannon. And then you lose that and you go, oh my God, I feel empty now. And that was probably one of the biggest revelations of my life. I remember going, oh my God, it never would have occurred to me. But it was dumbing it down, but I thought that's why. But then other people don't have love in their life, in their families, and their families are affectionate, and they still go through that. But in my case, I knew that was, Danica, too loud. In my case, I knew that was a big thing. And your family was filled with love. You guys just had a good time, So, I don't know. How are we doing?
We're doing good here. Lots more to go through. Rick May, 10cc, I'm Not in Love.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Harris, I used to stay up late at night on a school night to listen to Rockline with Bob Coburn. Get some coffee, LOL. Melody R says Lion Eyes by the Eagles.
Oh, that is such a good one. On a turntable, I wrote down all the lyrics on that album when I was a kid. I would stop it, write the lyrics down, and go back, and then, yeah, I did that with Lion Eyes.
Aaron Campbell, Marvin Gaye, Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Never noticed the sun just went?
It did.
Yeah.
Just cut a little bit darker.
Yeah.
TJ, Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way.
That album is just the breakup
right?
album. Right? I was listening to, someone was playing on the radio a couple of songs in a row of not that I haven't heard it over and over again, but I have to say, I think Rumors, for me, I like it more than Hotel California. It's always gone back and forth.
Yeah,
but,
you've always I
compare them because they were out at the same time, around the same time. Fleetwood Mac. To me, that's a perfect album. To me, Rumors is, and maybe that's going to be a topic. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that one too. Let me text you.
Surfer Boy, Your Time Is Gonna Come by Led Zeppelin. And yes, Surfer Boy, we have moved and we're settled. Rick, Glenn Fry, The One You Love.
Perfect albums.
Of course, Don Henley, The Heart of the Matter.
Oh,
that was totally one of my songs. Oh, yes, big time.
What were you doing when that was released in the summer of '89? When that album was released, where were you? Did you live in Vancouver?
'89, I lived in Vancouver at that time.
Yeah, I was coming to Vancouver in June, I think, of '89, and I was tired and I was fed up, and I didn't know if I was going to stay in radio. But my kids lived on the island. I wanted to be closer to the kids. I wanted to change, and the second I started walking around Vancouver, I went, oh yeah, I could do this.
And
this is
even
good.
to this day, if you could, he'd move back. He'd move back to BC. He loves Vancouver.
Not to spend $2 million, which I don't have. We don't have on a shack, but well, it's not like that.
But it's
expensive.
It's very expensive. Yeah.
Even coming back here, the homes were for the same price. The homes in a year and a half were up, even though this is bigger than our last Calgary place. The home values were up for at least $100,000. It was crazy.
Record Hound, an oldie that popped up often around a breakup was Lonely Boy by Paul Anka.
Oh, I'm such a lonely boy. Yeah.
John says, Canada owned Neil Young was Only Love Can Break Your Heart.
Oh.
What if your world should fall apart?
God. As we're doing this Canadian special, we're getting a lot of Canadian artists that are coming on, but we just put a video on the Canadian channel where Graham Goble talks about his favorites: Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Gordon Lightfoot, people that I wasn't surprised you mentioned that he really zeroed in on. It's nice asking an international artist. I forgot to ask Justin Hayward today who his favorite Canadian artists were, but it's kind of nice to have international artists on talking about that as well. It's going to be a good special. It's going to be fun.
For a crime breakup, Air Supply.
Oh, Air Supply, the one that you love.
If you're going to go with Don Henley, then A New York Minute.
New York Minute's a great song.
Definitely.
That whole End of the Innocence album, where he had the long hair and he looked extra cool, and that is one of my all-time favorite albums. I just love that record so much. It's my favorite of his. His first is my least favorite, but I still like it, with Dirty Laundry. But just I love his solo stuff so much. Yeah.
Rush, Ghost of a Chance.
Oh, a little Rush in there.
And I think, as I said before, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart by the Bee Gees.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing that, at one point today when I was talking to Justin, I said something about the fan reactions and how he would handle someone asking him who he was. He gave me a really good story. I don't have time to tell it now. I'd rather he tell the story. But he goes always back to, it's about the music. He says, people don't really recognize me. I'm not really a star. I said, well, you're Justin Hayward. My God, you're like the lead songwriter and singer. And John Lodge sang some hits, but really. But he doesn't look at himself that way. He says, no, it's about the music. He wrote some good songs about longing. I know you're out there somewhere, longing for that girl. Nights in White Satin was written because a girl gave him. He says he uses the story that a girl gave him satin sheets, but he says sometimes I wonder if that's really. It was about a lot of things, Nights in White Satin, and he said never in a million years did he think it was going to be a hit. He didn't think of it till Mr. Pinder put some good keys on there, and he says it changed things a little bit. So, hi.
Hey.
Are we done?
I think we're wrapping up pretty quick here.
I think we're wrapping up. I think that's just a wrapping up thing.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like button. We so appreciate it.
And thanks for the super chats. We appreciate it.
Very much so.
We always say it goes towards advertising, and now we're advertising the channel a little bit, getting the word out. Because a lot of people who do what we do, what they do is they anchor their videos to someone else's, and people are telling us to do that all the time. You should anchor your videos to come on around the time when your competitors come on. I'm going, I don't know. I kind of like to see what I can do on my own. But we've talked to marketing people, and they said you've got to come on. It's a business. You got to advertise.
So we're set to come on at 5 now our time?
We'll try.
We'll try. Or is everyone kind of liking the 6 o'clock time?
Yeah, what do you think of the time?
Do you have a preference as to what you like or what you think? Or
yeah, we don't want to take you away from Netflix. We're gonna watch, what's that Jennifer Garner show on Apple? Is that Apple?
Yeah,
Is it
Last Thing I Told Her. Or
is that what it is?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna go walk the dog. I'm going to go record my show downstairs because I'm not on the weekends. I'm only on weeknights.
Irene says, hey, John and Shan, just popping on at work. Hi, Irene.
Hi, Irene.
Chris says, love you too. Peace.
Oh, Irene Brophy. Right on.
Yeah.
We're friends
Surfer
on
Boy,
Facebook.
it's a wrap. You two are great. Keep loving one another. Thanks, Michael. Great conversations. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be, now that we're kind of planted, we're where we are now, we're going to be on consistently. So
Shannon's going to do some on the Rocky Street Book Channel. She's also going to be doing some of the 80s stuff, the stuff that she knows really, really well. She'll be hosting some of that stuff.
So I'm looking forward to that too. It's kind of my era. So I thought, what? I understand what we're kind of talking about, and it's sort of my.
And she'll be doing some interviews. I'll still be doing the bulk of it because that's what I do. But we'll get her involved more. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, love you guys. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for supporting the channel. Remember, we've got hats available. Got to sell our swag. It links in the description. Take good care of yourself.
Bye.
See ya.